The layoffs are only beginning. Prepare now. So I work in tech. Specifically, I specialize in AI and the softwares that come along with AI. And as of recently, and again, I'm not one of these people. I sometimes see those like off-gridders, tinfoil hat looking people. And I used to think to myself, man, those people are just kind of low-key crazy, right? But as of recently, within about the last year, I work in AI/tech, and that's what I specialize in. And I have recently become severely worried. And I am fully convinced that, and again, this sounds crazy talking about on camera. I think the layoffs are just beginning, and AI is going to devastate the job market. And it might not happen tomorrow or even like within the year, but if you pay a close attention to what all these CEOs are saying, the CEO of Walmart, Amazon, they're all planning massive layoffs. What was it? Amazon, it was leaked that they planned on replacing like 660,000 of their employees with robots. And the robots are just being released right now. And what's crazy is they're taking the white collar jobs first. And, like myself, I specialize in tech and marketing. I've been in marketing forever, especially video. I specialize in video and just the tools that go along with all that stuff. And it is drastically changing every single day. And nobody's really talking about it. And as of now, that's why I've kind of started this channel. I have become one of these people that are planning for an escape or a plan B. And me and my buddy here, this is Tank, by the way. What you got to say? Say something? We bought a conversion van. And I know that sounds kind of crazy, but this channel is devoted to vans because I believe that a van is the start to your off-grid lifestyle. And the reason is, and I went through the sequence of planning on what to do to plan off-grid. And I think what a person should do is reverse engineer everything in your life on you losing your job once you're laid off. And they say the average American can't afford a $500 payment. Well, imagine you're laid off. So I deeply do think this is a recipe for disaster. So once these layoffs start happening, and you have to think, when I get laid off, what does it look like? I think first you lose your home and your car loan, because if you got a big loan out on a car, they're going to repo that extremely fast. It's actually happening right now. If you pay attention to the repos, they're doing this and they're skyrocketing. So I think a van is step number one. And you might ask yourself why. And that's because you could live in a van if need be. And I bought this huge, somewhat ugly conversion van for $3,000. I specifically did not want a loan on it because you have to plan, if you get laid off, how are you going to pay this car loan? You know what I mean? So I would highly advise you to start planning and preparing for, just go down the sequence of events. Cause something, and again, I'm not saying AI is going to take over the world. I'm not going to be saying any of that right now, but I do think that a person should start by thinking about being laid off and how your life changes being laid off. And essentially you're probably going to get kicked out of your apartment or lose your house. That's why a van is it's a great option because it's essentially a hotel on wheels. And essentially what I'm going to do here, someone was actually living in this van, or they had stayed in here for a while. There was no seats. I decided to put back seats in there out of a junkyard, but I'm going to build a bed way back there. We're going to throw a solar panel on here. We got a diesel heater set up on the back. So make sure to follow the channel if you like van life's off-grid style stuff. So you have to go down the list of things that are going to happen. There's going to be mass layoffs. How does your life drastically change with mass layoffs? And then once people start getting massively laid off and they're losing their homes and their cars, I think there's going to be mass looting. And they're going to be digging into, there's so many guns in America that it's frightening. And you think about living in the city, these people are going to go just walk into houses. These developments, I'm looking at them right now. I live in the city. People are just going to just loot through all the houses, and whoever has the most amount of guns is going to win the battle. So the battle of guns is horrible. I'm not a guns person by any means, but that's going to be one of the biggest currencies, right? And again, I'm not one of these off-grid people that even really talk about this as of recently. I've been a tech bro, stuck in the tech space thinking these people are crazy, but now I'm planning for off-grid. And at least, I'm not necessarily going to go fully into the off-grid lifestyle, but I do believe if you have a family, you should have a plan B. And the reason is because safety. And maybe you can at least get a couple more years out of it, or, like if things really go south, you can just get some more time and escape to your off-grid location. I also think once people are going to start looting, I think there's going to be massive, they're going to take down like power grids. I'm sure you've seen all the movies. It gets deeply frightening extremely fast. And I think you need to start planning for this, and you need to start reverse engineering. How does it look when you get laid off? Maybe it's not AI. Chances are it's going to be AI, because AI is doing that right now. But how does your life look? And how do you reverse engineer it and set it up to where you have a plan B escape route, right? A van, you could jump in, you could live out of it, you can go on the go. Plus, not only that, but you could have some fun weekends in here. And again, maybe your chances are, it's off grid, but also multi-use. Like hotel rooms are like super expensive, and you could just stay in the van. I know it's not for everyone. Honestly, it's not really my type of lifestyle. I'm kind of like I told you, I'm a tech bro. We have money. I like hot showers. I like hot baths. But I do think that it's in your general interest to start planning. And a van is step one. I think step two is to buy off-grid property. That's the next step that I'm going into. And again, if you guys have any, I'm new to all this. So if you guys have any comments on how to buy property, please hit me up in the comments, because I am totally new to this. I don't even have the money to buy off-grid property. I'm coming to find out here in Minnesota that, the off-grid stuff, a lot of times, even in northern Minnesota, that's where I'm at, is like, it can be starting at like $20,000 an acre. So like ideally you think you'd want 10 acres, but that's a lot of money, and I don't know if I can just burn that in some off-grid property. So it's like, how many acres do I need? Is 2 enough? That's the whole question. So give this channel a follow. I do need your help if you guys are aware of like how to help me, because I'm new to this journey. And I think people that are like thinking about this right now and trying to be like a step ahead of the curve, I think that we're thinking alike. I've always been like a planner with my family, my daughter, and it's, I like to be 10 steps ahead of the normal person. And forecasting this, I see the writing on the wall, and I feel like I'm working with these AI tools, and I'm working with these businesses, and they're very interested in deleting employees and removing as minimal costs as they can, so that they can just throw all the money back in their pockets. So again, prepare now. The mass layoffs have just begun, guys, and it's going to get scary, and our economy is like so scary right now. Like, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I can't be the only one thinking about this stuff. I mean, me and Tank just sit out here and we look at properties. Tank, why don't you just act normal for a minute? Can you just act normal for a minute? He sits there and looks at reflections on the seat. Like, he's obsessed with reflections. It's just the weirdest thing ever, but I love him. We don't judge him. He's got a mild addiction to it. So I think the laser pointer kind of created that. But yeah, this is my conversion van. It's a $3,000 van. It starts here. We're going to build a bed. We got solar coming. Honestly, dude, I feel weird. I feel like one of those crazy people that's like planning for the future, but it has to happen, and maybe it'll be a fun journey along the way. We're going to start planning an off-grid cabin of some type. My girlfriend is kind of laughing at me, but it could be a cool journey. And hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's wrong, right? Nothing happens, and everything goes great, but I'll still have the small little cabin as a plan B. And that's worst case scenario. And I think you should start planning for it. So hit me up in the comments, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, guys, it's just that we live in a deeply concerning economy and time right now. Like, yeah, I'm truly worried.